today. So when I had my extraterrestrial contact experience in 2018, I actually began to see like them. I began to see multidimensionally. And what I could see was that depending on what choices I made during the day would depend on what parallel reality I shifted to. So you may have seen some of these movies where I think this is kind of depicted by the idea of having lots of doorways. So we can see in this street here, we've got lots of doorways on either side. And so this is kind of how we navigate our daily life. Like what I saw in my contact experience when everything went multidimensional was I could see how my day would turn out. Like I could see like a variety of different outcomes of my day depending on what choices I made during the day. So all our choices determine our future reality. So it's like walking down here, like if we went through this door, we'd end up in this shop. If we went through this door, we'd end up in this shop. And so like every choice we make in our life is critical. And it's not just that we're actually like moving through physical reality, we're actually in an infinite reality. And according to our frequency and our vibration that we put out, determines what reality we shift to. So it's actually kind of like a movie film strip where like when you watch a film at the movies, like it gives the illusion of a film by playing lots of still frames through the camera lens, and that's much how reality works. If you understand that reality is infinite in nature and picture that idea of infinite reality in your mind as kind of infinite still frames of every existence that can possibly exist, and the way we create our reality is through our vibrational focus, through what we're focusing upon, through our beliefs, through our thoughts, through the energy we put out. And this determines which parallel reality we shifted to. Like I ended up here because I was focusing on making a video this morning about parallel realities. So I ended up in this place where there's lots of doorways, like shifting through, like I haven't been here in ages. And so we navigate. This is how the law of attraction works. We're actually shifting through millions of parallel realities a second, and like millions of still frames in a movie strip to give the illusion of time and space. So I've just shifted through like a billion parallel realities, walking up here, or perhaps trillions of parallel realities. Like each, like this is one parallel reality. This is another parallel reality. This is another parallel reality, and the timeline we create for ourselves is created according to how we navigate, the choices we make, the excitements we follow, and the vibration we emit. And this kind of navigates us through infinite parallel realities and infinite timelines every day. And so we're actually shifting through many perhaps trillions of timelines a day. And so if I walk this way, I've gone through one timeline, and then if I walk this way, I've gone through another timeline. And so we're actually shifting timelines every moment. So it's not learning how to shift timelines, it's learning how to shift to the timeline we prefer, which we do by focusing by having beliefs that reality will work out for us, that everything's amazing, by giving gratitude. Gratitude is a great one for creating a reality, by healing ourselves, by doing shadow work on ourselves, to transform all our negative beliefs so we don't get sucked into negative beliefs of lack of self-worth and self-pity and all this stuff as we go through the day, so we can keep our focus positive and our energy and our frequency and our vibration high. And so the belief that we are shifting to an epic timeline will actually shift us to an epic timeline. And so that takes me to this idea of what's called the Raven method. So this is a technique that apparently went viral on TikTok for shifting realities, to shifting through timelines, to shifting to a more epic timeline. So it's basically all about believing that we're shifting to a positive reality, staying positive, and understanding that what we put out is what we get back. So we're always shifting through many timelines every day. And but the idea is that what people talk about a major timeline split is that we're kind of going through this huge shift of consciousness at present at the moment, where it's going to be where we're accelerating and expanding as beings, and we're actually going to make a shift to either a positive reality or a negative reality due to the expansion of consciousness and the way we're evolving as beings and the way we're moving in frequencies to higher dimensions. like once we get to a certain critical threshold, to a certain point in our civilization's evolution, it's going to be kind of impossible to have like negative thoughts and positive thoughts. Our frequency is going to get so high that we're either going to shift into some reality we don't prefer, or we're going to like shift to a reality like where our frequency is so high that we're naturally kind of resonating in a place where it's impossible to have negative thoughts. So this is the idea of what people have talked about the timeline split, that we're going to go through a very significant parallel reality shifts. And Bashar talks about it as like two train tracks diverging, and like they started diverging in 2012, and the more they diverge in different directions down the positive Earth and the negative Earth, the less it's going to be possible to cross between the two. Although at the minute we can cross back and forth between the two. So this is what I mean by the idea that we're going through a huge timeline split. Like from now on, like our thoughts are really like locking us into very, very powerful parallel realities where things are getting more and more amazing every day, although it might not seem it on the surface given some of the circumstances. And so this is why it's really important to leave those realities behind. And like these dark aspects we're seeing in reality at the minute are actually like giving us the final choice. Like, do we still want to keep living in fear? Do we still want to keep focusing on what we don't prefer? Do we still want to keep like complaining about our reality and talking about conspiracy theories and how we're victims and how the government is terrible and all this stuff? And if we do, we're likely to shift more down a negative parallel timeline. So we've got to let all that go and begin to only focus on what we prefer, only focus on joy, gratitude. Like instead of like looking at conspiracy theories and talking about how we're victims and how like these people are treating us so bad, like we need to understand that we're creating our reality, and we created that for ourselves, possibly by talking about conspiracies in the past or having negative beliefs or feeling we're victims. So we need to truly understand that reality is a dream, reality is an illusion, and we're creating it within our own consciousness from moment to moment, and this will jump us onto the highest timeline. And so the Raven method, this is a method for shifting timelines. It's basically by focusing on what we prefer and kind of using a hypnotic state to reprogram our subconscious mind, which creates most of our reality. So most of our beliefs are in our subconscious, and we're actually creating from our subconscious like the majority of what we create. So we need to reprogram our subconscious, and it seems like the Raven method is a good way of getting it into our subconscious. So I have done a video on this that I will be releasing in, and we'll wrap this video up because it's getting a little windy. So I'll be releasing this video on Sunday, on the eclipse day, and this will show you how to use a very powerful technique to shift timelines and to shift yourself into the positive Earth. So I hope this makes sense. It's a bit of a complicated subject and get the idea to get around your head, but this kind of explains it all. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and check out my video coming up on Sunday on how to do this experientially. Have a great day, guys. Shivai.